we good? All right, welcome to the May 14th meeting of the Cannabis Regulatory Commission. Mr. Saeed, can you please read the statement of compliance?
Chairman, this is a regularly scheduled meeting of the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission's 2026 annual meeting schedule. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with the Senator Byron M. Baer Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of the meeting was provided to the Asbury Park Press, Bergen Record, Courier Post, Star Ledger, and the Trenton Times on December 8th, 2025. The agenda and information regarding the in-person meeting and the ability to live stream was also posted on the CRC website. The meeting time and location has also been posted on the website of the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission and with the Office of the Secretary of the State.
Thank you, Mr. Saeed. Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll go into closed session. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there a motion to go into closed session? Oh, Mr. Saeed, please call the roll.
Commissioner Mapp,
Present.
Commissioner Nash,
Present.
Vice Chair Ferraro,
Present.
Chair Lawfer.
Present.
We now have a quorum.
Awesome. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Closed session should take about 1 hour.
Aye.
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 I was just about to say all in favor. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Aye.
We're in closed. We are good to go. So the next order of business is approval of the prior meeting's minutes. Is there a motion to approve the prior meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So I'm going to be quick in terms of a chair's report. So we've reorganized the committee structure for the Cannabis Regulatory Commission, and we've done this with the idea of being a better partner to the industry, a better partner to the social justice community, and a better partner to the agricultural community and to state government. So the full list of committees will be posted on the website, but I just want to say that we're in the midst of trying to improve on where we've been, and Diana left us in a really good place, and we thank her. But we're moving to the next chapter. And in that vein, I want to announce two new initiatives. We're going to be starting a social justice roundtable which is going to be led by Commissioner Mapp and myself. We're going to go on the road with Director McWhite, and we're also going to have a business community roundtable, which is going to hit all of the types of businesses in the state, whether it's MSOs, whether it's small businesses and micro businesses, whether it's independent dispensaries or grow houses or manufacturers, and that's going to be led by Vice Chair Ferraro. Another thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be highlighting, what the labor movement in the cannabis space is going to look like, and that's going to be led by Commissioner Nash, and she's going to chair our labor committee. As I see members of organized labor in the back, good to see you, and we're gonna try and see how we can be a better partner to the labor movement. Finally, we're gonna start our 2026 look at the social equity excise fee. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna try and be more deliberate about it to see how we can make a bigger impact without, without raising prices on consumers in a big way. And I did miss one final thing is we're getting very close on our cost of regulatory compliance survey, which is which has been championed by Director Riggs, the rest of the staff, and we look forward to seeing how we take the results of that survey and adapting it to more erudite, more, both safety, equity, and business-friendly regulations. So that's, and it wouldn't be a chair's report without saying, listen to your compliance officer. So please listen to your compliance officer, and that concludes my chair's report. Director Riggs.
Thank you, Chair. We're going to have a quarterly data report for you today. So both myself and Director McWhite will be reporting out on some data, as we do every quarter, related to the market, the demographics in the market, and the like. So if I could get the next slide, please. So updates on dispensary openings. We have 4 new dispensaries open since we met last at the end of April. We have more than 300 dispensaries opened in all 21 counties currently. Licensing update. Total licenses approved as of May 4th of 2026. A little over 3,000 applications have been submitted into our licensing portal. Kudos to our licensing team for getting through all those applications. 2,500 of them have been approved. 408 applications are still under the review in the Office of Licensing, with 136 pending resubmission following something wrong with the application, so they got a cure letter. 147 of those applications remain under investigation in our Office of Compliance and Investigation. Total licenses approved today as of May 4th, 2026, 1,681 conditionals, 495, close to 500, conditional and annual conversions, 344 annual licenses, with 90 expanded alternative treatment centers. Up today for consideration, we have 9 ownership changes. Apologies for the slide. The slide needs to be amended. We have 9 ownership changes, 1 site modification, 1 conditional and annual conversion, 5 annual licenses. That slate needs to be updated as well. 12 annual license renewals that are going for administrative extension. Current patient enrollment numbers as of May 8th of 2026, we have 46,000 patients, a little more than 46,000 patients enrolled in our medical program, a little more than 3,000 caregivers, with 1,500 doctors enrolled in the program. And getting to the cost of regulatory compliance survey that the chair recently mentioned, we are getting to the end of that survey. So this is our last ditch effort to ask the industry, to ask our licensees to please, please, please participate in that survey. In partnership with NJIT, we put out this survey to go through some of the topics that are major cost drivers for licensees, the licensing process costs, technology, systems, reporting, workforce training, testing and quality assurance, and how do you really feel about the CRC and what kind of job we're doing. NJIT is offering an incentive to licensees. You'll be entered into a drawing to get a $500 incentive. So please check your email, look for that email, and participate in that survey. And now to the data. For 2025, these are our certified sales over the calendar year. So almost $1.2 billion in total adult use sales. The year-over-year change is almost 12%. We're up almost 12% from last year and the calendar year of 2024. We are seeing our medical sales decline. They are down about 45%. The revenue, based upon those sales, you see the revenue. These are all certified by the Department of Treasury. Again, it's up just like the sales, about 11%, 11.5%. Under sales and use tax, we're close to $68 million, and then we're social equity excise fees around $11 million for the calendar year of 2025. This slide's important because it shows change in sales, transaction, and price over time. So I think it really gives a good picture of the health and the growth of the New Jersey cannabis market. Since January of 2023, our transactions are up 74%. So that means there's more people buying, the transactions are up. The price has declined about 48%. So the price is getting lower, transactions are going up, and sales are also going up. Sales are up 52%, but transactions are outpacing the sales figures, the dollar numbers, because the price is down. So this kind of gives you that snapshot of the health of the cannabis market. This is distribution by county for our sales. So Camden County is in the lead with 10.5% of our sales. You do see some deserts in the southern part of the state and in the northwest part of the state, but this will just give you a distribution of where the sales are and where people are buying cannabis in New Jersey. Here's a snapshot from April 2025 to April 2026 of total sales by month. Of note here, in April 2026, 108 million, almost 109 million. That is a record number for the Cannabis Regulatory Commission since its existence. So even though our price, and I'll get to that in the next few slides, even though the price is falling, we're still seeing a significant increase in sales, up 20% from April of 2025.
Christmas is also very popular.
Yeah, you got it, Sheriff. Here's the adult use flower price per gram. As you see, it drops. It drops significantly. Last year in April of 2025, we were closer to $9. We were at $8.86 per gram. Now we're at $6.80 per gram. So the price is significantly dropping, and it's a good thing for the market. Medical program sales. This is just giving you a snapshot of the total sales from April 25 to 2026. We're down about 42.5%. I attribute this to more people buying the adult use cannabis over the counter, right? We've entered into adult use program. We've made dispensaries available in all 21 counties, and people are going to go buy cannabis where cannabis is available. And I feel that some patients are now turning to over-the-counter medicine or over-the-counter medicinal use, but we are still seeing medical program sales drop. And this is again a medical flower price per gram, year-over-year change, less, a little bit more than the adult use per gram, but it's still under $7 per gram currently, and it's dropped from $8.41 from last April of 2025. Here's an adult use product mix by category. You can see that bud and flower are still around 40%, 41% of our market. But you're seeing that some of these manufacturing products are really getting a hold of the market a little bit here. You have vape carts, edibles, concentrates. They're starting to get a little bit of hold of the market in New Jersey. Pounds harvested by month. You're seeing here all the pounds of wet weight flower that were harvested by month. You'll see we had a huge increase in March of 2026 with 240,000, almost 241,000 pounds. So this is another data point that we like to look at to see the health of the market, the trends in the market, and those types of things. These are THCA testing value averages over the last 13 months, and I think it's significant to show that it's up 1.2% from April 2025. So the what's being reported on packaging and labeling, the average is up 1.2%, which is a year-over-year change in 4.2%. We're looking at this data. We do have our lab scientist now on board at the CRC. She's been out to these laboratories, and there's some positive changes, and you'll see that in the next few slides related to total use to mold. These are the average testing values by lab over the last 13 months. You'll see that we have, if you watch that green line, the reason that it's circled there, and you look at the green line, it's starting to get down into the median, and it's significant because that's about the time that we started to have our lab scientists go out and look and be at the labs and look how they're doing the testing, and we had boots on the ground. So you're seeing everything start to kind of come down, come to the median, and hopefully that's a good sign for the future. Total use to mold failure rates, you'll see we're up 307% from April 25 till April 26, which is great. The increase is significant. You're seeing 3.41% fail. National average is somewhere around 5%. Some of the labs, most of the labs are there and looking and reaching that national average. And that, again, that's attributed to having a lab scientist, having the expertise, having somebody out there to look at these things to make sure they're doing the test properly. And this is the total use to mold testing rates for the last 13 months. You'll see Lab A did 540 tests in April 2025. In April 2026, they did 621. Well, in April 25, they had 0 failure rates for total yeast and mold. Now they're up to 4%, which is close to the 5% national average. So that's attributed to not only issuing NOVs to these labs to make sure they're doing the test appropriately within the Maryland guidance, but also because we have the lab scientist expertise and we have that individual making sure that her unit is focused on ensuring that we have safe cannabis that gets to the consumers. And that concludes my portion of the data report. So I am going to turn it over to Wesley McWhite, our Director of the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, to give some data on the demographics within our market.
Executive Director Riggs. We are having some technical difficulties with some of the imaging with our slides, so I think, Chair, if we could just pause for maybe 5 minutes until
Take
we get everything situated. Thank you so much. Apologies for the delay. As always, our full unedited report will be on our website, and also the full slide deck will be on our website shortly after our meeting. So good afternoon. Is it afternoon? Yes, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to quickly go over our diversity and inclusion quarterly data update. Remember, this is only a smaller abbreviated version. The full deck will be on our website. So starting off always with our benchmark data, again, for the maybe third or fourth year in a row, we continue to exceed all of our benchmarks. First, starting with our micro business benchmark, of our 824 licensed businesses, 34% of those are micro small businesses, surpassing that 25% benchmark by 9%. We have 479 micro business retailers, 198 cultivators, which is really great to hear and see, and 114 manufacturers, 26 delivery, 5 wholesalers, and 2 distributors. Our diversity owned benchmark, we continue to beat our streak here for the third or fourth year in a row with minority and women or disabled veteran owned businesses. According to the benchmark and statute, we're seeing 47% of our licenses have been awarded to minority owned businesses, surpassing our 15% benchmark by 32%. 43% of our awarded licenses, issued licenses, have been awarded to women or disabled veteran-owned businesses, passing that statutory benchmark by 28%. Diversity-owned businesses of the 800 and diversity-owned and social equity businesses of the 805 annual license awardees, 143 of those, 18%, are social equity businesses, and 539 are diversity-owned businesses, 67%. And these are still some of the most highest diversity-owned businesses and social equity-owned businesses in the country. And this next slide continues to prove that point. We continue to look for external partners with data that try to capture as much as of the licensure at the national level. Because licensures are measured differently in different states, we find that this methodology and this report from the Minority Cannabis Business Association is most accurate, and we are seeing 47% of our minority-owned licenses have been awarded. The national average is under 20% at 19%. 40% of our licenses are women-owned businesses, and the national average is 16%, which is a major victory here in New Jersey that we want to continue to build on. Our benchmarks excluding expansions, we want to make sure that we are continuing to monitor this over the years. We haven't seen much dip or change. If we take out expansions, we're still seeing good representation from independent, New Jersey homegrown, no pun intended, operating businesses. 47% of those are still minority owned, and 43% of those are still women or disabled veteran owned. Are continuing to monitor. We continue to hear your feedback from the industry about sort of what data points you want to hear, and these are one of our data points we've added over the last couple of years of operational business licenses. We have 564 current operating licenses. 323 of those are retailers. 76 of those are manufacturers. 57 of those are medical dispensaries, 61 are cultivators, and as you can see there, we're continuing to see an increase of folks getting open and operating. Special shout out to our licensing team, to our compliance and investigations team, and ushering people in from submitting their application all the way to open and operating. Business key categories we're monitoring that are open and operating. So 47% of operating businesses are impact zone businesses. 12% of our operating businesses are owned by someone with a previous marijuana conviction. 31% of those are owned and operating, are micro businesses. 16% of our owned and operating businesses are social equity, and 68%, a majority of our licensed or operating businesses are diversely owned. Licensed to operate under the CREAM Act, according to our DOORS certification, 133 of those have no certification, 101 are minority owned, 95 are women owned, 65 are minority and women owned, 15 are disabled veteran owned, 4 are disabled veteran and minority owned, and 1 is disabled veteran, minority, and women owned. Want to go over our adult use sales total by month and then break those down by category. So as you can see, we have seen a year-over-year change from April 2025 to April 2026 of a 20% increase year-over-year in sales. We've seen a major jump just above $3 billion from March 2026 to April 2026. Still, as the Executive Director Riggs said, pointing to the health and growth of our market. Our total sales by month by social equity individuals from April 2025 to April 2026 has also increased year over year. We've seen a net increase in just about all of our key categories that we're watching. From April 2025, 9.8 million sales of our total sales were by social equity owned and operated businesses, jumping up to 11.7 million of open and operating businesses by social equity folks, which is a great increase that we want to continue to monitor and see more participation from these businesses. So this slide needs to be updated. The margins on the left say October, but they are still April 2025 to April 2026. As you can see, those with criminal history businesses have seen an increase from 4.1 million to 6.6 million year over year, with a significant increase from March 2026 to April 2026. Our economically disadvantaged areas, the other part of that social equity definition, those that live in or operate in economically disadvantaged areas have seen a 60.2% increase in total number of sales, which is amazing. From April 2025, we've seen 3.7% of total sales from economically disadvantaged areas, increasing all the way up to just over 6 million in economically disadvantaged areas. Our diversely owned businesses have seen maybe the majority of that increase, the most jump in increase, 40.7 million total sales in April 2025, up to 56.9, almost 57 million in April 2026. And disabled veteran-owned businesses. So this one would be the only one that has seen just a slight dip in total sales. April 2025, we've seen 1.7. They had 1.7 million in sales, and it dipped just slightly to 1.4 million. This is not uncommon. In other categories, particularly for diversely owned businesses, they've seen a major dip last year in sales. So we anticipate that this will continue to grow. As an effort to make sure it does, we'll continue to check in as the Office of Diversity and Inclusion with our diversely owned businesses. Being that only 15 of them are open and operating, this is still an incredible feat for those disabled veteran-owned businesses, and we want to continue to make sure that we're monitoring their progress as well. Minority-owned businesses have also seen one of the largest increases year over year in sales. Last year it was 23.6 million and has increased to 34.3 million. And then lastly, women-owned businesses have also seen a significant increase in sales. Last year it was 28.2, jumping all the way up to 38, just under $10 million an increase in sales. And we want to continue to provide this sort of data, and with the new initiatives and coming committees of this board and the collaborative work that we are all getting ready to embark on, we want to make sure that these sales numbers translate to what's actually happening on the ground and seeing real impact for our licensees and for our business owners. And then lastly, we do have one new slide. We want to continue to solicit feedback from the industry. Glenn, Nana, and I, the team, have been on the road a bit in these last couple of weeks. So we've been soliciting feedback from folks about what sorts of data points that we are able to provide to the public that will help folks make better business decisions and also support the health of the industry. Would also attract investors, a renewed effort to attract investors, new investors to New Jersey. So as you can see, every category has seen an increase in the number of pounds of weight they have harvested, with the most increase, 262% year-over-year change for micro businesses, which is incredible, which is amazing that more of our manufacturers, our cultivators, are getting online. This is something that we'll continue to monitor and continue to pay attention to. And just before I turn it back over to the chair, just want to continue to remind folks to fill out that survey. We worked really, really hard hard with the Office of Data and Analytics and bringing leaders together to make sure that we helped NJIT craft that survey. So we definitely want to see more participation so that we can again translate those into lowering the cost of compliance. And so just before we get started, I'll turn it over to the chair. We're going to pause for a second to make sure that all of our the rest of our slides are good to go. And thank you so much for this opportunity to share the data slides.
Really impressive. I'm going to vamp for like 30 seconds until you guys make sure you guys are on the same page. Yeah, I mean those numbers are really, really encouraging. And that's due to no small part to your staff, to Commissioner Mapp, who's been out everywhere in the community, so I give her a ton of credit. And now you're going to have to take us with you. So you remember, just 2 at a time, though. Don't want to give Dave a heart attack. It says it's on. Well, yeah, it's. How about now? No, it is on. I promise you it's on. Do you want to do a switch since we're in the middle of a... It was on before. Yeah, no. I just turned that one off. Oh, that's better. That's better. It's the same. Is this better? Just since we're still vamping? Yeah. Okay, good. Good to go? There we go. Applications for permit or license changes. Director Riggs.
Thank you, Chair. We have 9 ownership changes up for consideration today. There are 9 businesses that are proposing a transfer of ownership or equity in their business. Each of these entities has satisfied the regulatory requirements for an ownership change. All the owners, the individuals involved with the business that were required to be vetted have been vetted by our Office of Compliance and Investigations, and they've been deemed qualified to enter into the adult use market. And therefore, we're recommending that the board approve these 9 ownerships in front of us today.
Okay, are there any questions from the board in terms of these ownership changes? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve?
Make the motion that we approve these ownership changes, applications as presented by Director Riggs.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Saeed, please call the roll.
Commissioner Mapp,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Ferraro,
Yes.
Chair Lawfer.
Yes.
The motion passes. The next item we have up for consideration.
Is site modifications. Director Riggs, site modifications.
Yes, we have one site modification or change to physical plan or canopy capacity before the board today. It's actually a decrease in cannabis capacity for wellness. They're requesting to modify their canopy capacity down from Tier 6 to Tier 1, which cannot exceed 10,000 square feet. Their site plans, standard operating procedures, and every other document was reviewed and deemed satisfactory by the Office of Compliance and Investigation, and therefore we are recommending that the board approve this decrease in cultivation canopy tier for air wellness. Thank you.
Okay.
On this agenda item, Vice Chair Ferraro has recused herself from this modification change for air wellness due to an ongoing professional relationship. On account of her recusal, she will step out of the room while the board considers this particular application. Afterward, Vice Chair Ferraro will come back in and will take up the next order of business.
All right. Are there any questions on the air wellness application for a site modification? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve?
Chair, I move to approve the site modification for Air Wellness.
I second.
Mr. Said?
Commissioner Mapp,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Ferraro is recused. Chair Lawfer,
Yes.
the motion passes.
And now Jackie can come back in. It was very contentious without you. Very contentious. Director Riggs.
Thank you, Chair. Welcome back, Commissioner Ferraro. Today we have conditional annual licenses. We have one conditional annual conversion license, which is a retailer, and then we have 5 annual licenses up for consideration. We'll take the conditional annual license conversion application first. This license followed our licensing process. There was priority assignment. That priority was verified. Completeness review was conducted by our Office of Licensing. That application was then scored. There was a qualification review that's been conducted by our Office of Compliance and Investigation, where background checks and the like are conducted to determine if the individuals can be in the cannabis industry. That qualification review was done. Then there's a quality control check, and we are recommending now that this application be approved by the board today. Thank you.
Okay, are there any questions on the consideration of the annual license application? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve it? I'll second the motion. Mr. Said?
Commissioner Mapp,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Ferraro,
Yes.
Chair Lawfer.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Moving on for a vote for
5 annuals.
5 annuals. Director Riggs.
Thank you, Chair. We have 5 annual licenses up for consideration today. 3 cultivators, 1 manufacturer, 1 retailer. Again, these followed the licensing process, and they've been reviewed by our Office of Licensing and Office of Compliance, and we are recommending that these 5 licenses be approved today. Thank you.
All right, are there any questions on these applications? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve these 5?
I move to approve the annual license applications.
Is there a second?
I second.
Mr. Said?
Commissioner Mapp,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Ferraro,
Yes.
Chair Lawfer.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Annual renewals, administrative extensions.
Thank you, Chair. We have 1 licensee that holds a total of 12 licenses and permits in the medical industry combined. Given that we're in an ongoing litigation with this entity regarding a licensing requirement, we are recommending that an administrative extension be granted until August 1st of 2026 so that they are all on the same path and that we can continue to monitor the litigation and handle these licenses when it's necessary. Therefore, that's the recommendation.
All right, are there any questions on behalf of the board? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to approve the administrative extensions.
I second.
Mr. Said? Again, these are going to be extended until August 1st of this year.
Commissioner Mapp,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Only at the recommendation of legal counsel will I say yes.
Vice Chair Ferraro,
Yes.
Chair Lawfer.
Yes.
The motion passes.
So I'm going to turn it over to Chief Counsel Tway San for an announcement of a litigation matter settlement.
Thank you, Chair. Staff issued a notice of violation to Green Medicine, which was INV 74-25. The board subsequently imposed a penalty to that entity. The board is now voting to act consistent with the discussion it had in exec session to resolve and settle the matter for this. And I turn it back over to you, Chair, to vote on this matter.
Thank you, Chief Counsel. Are there any questions that you'd like to make public on the settlement? If not, I would move to approve the settlement.
Second.
Mr. Said?
Commissioner Mapp,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Ferraro,
Yes.
Chair Lawfer.
Yes.
The motion passes.
We have a waiver request. Again, Chief Counsel Tway-San. This is on behalf of the New Jersey Cannabis Trade Association.
Thank you, Chair. The Commission's regulations give the Commission the authority to waive our regulations if it meets the 3 factors enumerated under NJ-CRC 17:30-3.7. This is submitted on behalf of all the entities for adult use. The NJ Cannabis Trade Association, they're requesting a waiver of NJ-CRC 17:30-7.12 to waive the background check requirement for all employees and volunteers of licensed entities who do not fall under an owner or principal. This is derived from a statutory amendment under S 4847, which gives the Commission the authority to exempt certain classes of employees, including entry-level employees. Staff's opinion that waiving just employees and volunteers within the regulations, which would apply to adult use only, not for medical. If you're a medical-only operator, the statute does require those employees to still be background checked, but expanded ATCs or anybody in AU would we would be able to waive that requirement under 7.12. So with that, turn it back over to you, Chair, for a vote. Just one piece here as well is we do not recommend that we waive any of the badging requirements, even if the board were to grant this background check waiver, because badging is something different. We would still need to attract these line level employees and volunteers, but they wouldn't have to go through the fingerprinting process.
So, just want to make sure that everybody's abundantly clear as to what the recommendation is. It is we do not waive any badging requirements. However, we do waive the background check requirement for line level or entry level employees. This is excluding management, ownership, and principals, correct?
That's correct. Anybody that has managerial decision making would fall under the definition of principals, so they would still need to be background checked.
Okay. Are there any questions on behalf of the board? Is there a motion to approve the waiver? Sorry, motion to approve the waiver given the previously mentioned stipulations. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Said.
Commissioner Mapp,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Ferraro,
Yes.
Chair Lawfer.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Now to Chief Counsel Tway-San's favorite part of the meeting, notices of enforcement action. Chief Counsel.
Thank you, Chair. We have one enforcement action today for the board's consideration, INV-33-2026. The entity name is Culture Craft Cannabis Collective, LLC. They were cited for failing to adhere to the regulations by storing cannabis product in an unsecure area. And I turn it back over to you, Chair.
Thank you. So we have the notice of violation for Culture Craft Cannabis Collective. Say that 5 times fast. And are there any questions from the board in regards to the NOV? Seeing none, would anybody like to make a motion in terms of in relation to the NOV? Well, move what fine? Or you move the amount.
2,000.
Is there a second?
I second.
Mr. Said.
Commissioner Mapp,
Yes. Based on the information we have, these entities need to follow policy. There's a reason. Oh. Based on the information we have, these entities need to follow policy. Policies are written for a reason, and if you continue to do this, we will continue to do our part in finding you.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes, I will echo the sentiments of Commissioner Mapp. I have stated before that monetary penalties are probably our least favorite thing to do up on the dais. However, compliance is very important to us. And if your compliance officer tells you not to do something, please, please don't do it again. Thank you. My vote is yes.
Vice Chair Ferraro,
Yes.
Chair Lawfer.
Yes.
The motion passes.
I echo everything that Commissioner Mapp and Commissioner Nash said. Compliance officers are not here to make your life difficult. They are here to adhere to the law. And we will work with you as best we can, but please don't blatantly ignore what they say. Now we have public comment.
Thank you, Chair. As a reminder, public speakers during this afternoon's public comment period will be limited to 3 minutes. Please be respectful and concise during your comments. The first person I have on my list is Carlos Almanzar.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Carlos Almanzar. Happy Mother's Day to all the ladies in here. I'm coming here. Some of you guys don't know me. Some of you guys do know me. When the cannabis started, the industry started blooming, I decided that I want to give my family an opportunity. That opportunity was a dispensary. So my brother and I, we ran our family business construction successfully. We had the capital where we were doing okay, and we had our mother as the queen and everything else how it's supposed to be. My mother worked in a nursing home for over 24 years, taking care of everyone, from the governor's mother, from many people's mothers and fathers. So when this cannabis opportunity opened, I wasn't selfish. Everybody knew my name in the cannabis underground. But I wasn't selfish. I wanted something bigger than what I could put my name to. I wanted a legacy that could be something for my community. So I sit down with one person, my mother, and I said, Ma, I know you always hated that I'm associated with this type of stuff. She called it the devil's grass. My mother was one of the head of the church. Many things for the community, from a plate of food to somewhere to sleep. My mother is that person that you could go and count on. So I went to the pastor. I went to somebody else. I went to everyone that my mother trusts and went for advice. So I convinced my mother to let's go for a dispensary. I convinced my mother to let's take the money from my enterprise, from my company that we were building, and put into this dispensary. I was encountering with dirty politician. I have called, I have asked for help. Everyone said, you got to go up. So I did that. I went from knowing my local governor to everyone that I had to go. As it makes 3.5 years now, I'm coming to you guys because now my township is willing to hear you guys out. I would like for you guys to come into South Towns River and check the original application that I submitted for my mother, Rosa Frias, that at the last minute, the scoring of the application got changed. So I just didn't just lose everything. They robbed us from an opportunity of a fair scoring. They robbed the opportunity for something greater for our community and education that was included in there. So I'm asking to please come sit down with my local government and just go over the application so we know that this will never happen again. Because I love the numbers. Wesley, those numbers are incredible. I love what's going on with our community, but there's still those little things that we gotta fix. And I'm just asking, one of you guys, come, I will pay the CRC for all expensive, just so I can move forward with my idea of clean government. It's a new set of government over there, but they still not wanting to open the scoring application. And with your help, it'd be the best thing. We could move forward, and I could go and open my business somewhere else. Because I would not open my business until I close that one chapter of my mother. So please, I pay for all expenses. South Towns River.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Almazar.
The next person on the list is Edwin Paredes.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Can you hear me clearly? My name is Edwin Paredes. Good afternoon, commissioners, and thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I am co-owner of Nurturing Leaves, which is a social equity and minority-owned retail dispensary. I would respectfully would like to ask the commission for clarification on an issue that appears to be impacting some cannabis applicants across different municipalities in New Jersey. My understanding is that the commission's process, including the final on-site assessment stage under NJ-CRC 17:30-7.14, is that before an applicant can complete a final on-site assessment, the applicant must already possess all relevant municipal approvals required by that municipality, including a local cannabis license if required, and the location has to be operationally ready. This would appear to include items such as zoning approvals, planning approvals, certificates of occupancies where applicable, and potentially a local cannabis license if required. With that in mind, I respectfully ask the commission to clarify whether it is correct that an applicant cannot complete the NJ-CRC final on-site assessment process unless all required municipality approvals are already in place beforehand, including the local municipality cannabis license if required. I believe clarification of this sequencing issue would greatly help municipalities, applicants such as myself, and the public better understand the intent order of operations under the CREAM Act and the commissioner's regulations. The reason this is important is because some municipalities may be interpreting the process differently, which can create uncertainty and potential impossible situations where an applicant is told to first obtain a complete CRC final on-site inspection before the municipality will issue the local cannabis license that the new CRC requires beforehand. I'm not asking the commission to intervene in any individual municipality. I'm simply asking for clear statewide
30 seconds.
Guidance on sequencing so the applicants and municipalities can operate under a consistent understanding of the process. If this guidance exists already, can the New Jersey CRC please share where I could obtain this information to help educate myself? Thank you again for your time, your public service, and continued work supporting a fair and transparent cannabis marketplace in New Jersey. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Edwin. The next person on the list is Hugh Giordano.
Hello, commissioners. My name is Hugh Giordano. As everybody knows, I am a representative for the UFCW Local 360, which is the official labor union under the AFL-CIO of cannabis workers. I like to come to the commission just to give an update of where we are, because I think it's important for the public to know and for the workers to know where we are, because we're on the ground every day speaking directly to these working people. We are seeing issues where companies now are starting to buck back against the labor peace agreements, threatening workers, misclassification of workers, forcing workers into meetings that are anti-union in theory, and that's against the New Jersey state law for forcing workers into anti-union meetings, not only LPAs, but also it was just passed that they can't do that. These things are happening. We have companies that are fighting LPAs, and rather than treating workers well, putting that money towards the workers, they rather spend thousands or even millions at times to buck the system, to fight against the equity and justice that you all have fought for through your careers, and that the many folks before this commission was around have fought for equity and justice. I think that fighting against workers' rights, taking away their rights to collectively bargain, to fight for their wages and benefits is not equity. It is not justice. And I went to many of those council meetings where they got up in front of mayors, they got up in front of council presidents, and they said, I'm going to treat my workers' rights. I signed an LPA. This is my union guy right here. I'm the union guy for the workers, but I knew that by opening up facilities, that gives workers opportunities, it creates good jobs. And these same people are now starting to turn their backs on the same working class people that got their companies up and running. They are the backbone. Also just wanted to let you know that we are negotiating with some really great employers, and I want to thank them. They know who they are, and they actually do believe in equity and justice. The one thing I will say, because I have 30 seconds left, is that we're okay with the medical cannabis licensing expanding. We have some great unionized employers that provide good medicine, even though they're AU. It'll create more jobs. It will also give patients who are working class people the opportunity to have more access. So with patients and workers, it's a working class issue. And I hope that we can see the expansion of that. And we support medical home grow, of course. Creates more jobs. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Giordano.
Thank you. The next person I have on the list is David Cheek, if you're in the room. All right, I don't see David. So that was it for in-person, so I'm going to move now to the callers. The first caller I have on my list is Martha Figaro. Last four is 9238. Martha Figaro, 9238. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. Just as a reminder, it's *9 to raise your hand and *6 to unmute yourself. I don't see Martha. So the next person I have on the list is Ariel Mizrahi. Last four of the telephone number is 9582. Okay, I see you, Ariel. Ariel, you have the floor. It's *6 to unmute yourself. Ariel? It's *6 to unmute yourself if you're calling in. I'm going to come back to you, Ariel. The next person I have on the list is Richard Neal. Last four is 8314. Richard Neal, or Richie Neal. Last four is 8314. I don't see that person. The next person on the list is Thomas Norcia. Last four of the telephone number is 2406. Thomas Norcia. I don't see that person. The next person on the list is Max Jackson. Last four of the telephone is 8933. Max Jackson. Okay, I see you, Max. Give me 1 second. Max, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, Chair, Commissioners. My name is Max Jackson. I'm Vice Chair of the Cultivation Committee of the New Jersey Cannabis Business Association. I want to talk about a structural problem and how licensed operators get paid in this market, and a solution that already exists. I've spoken with multiple licensed operators about this issue, and the picture is consistent. One cultivator manufacturer has 74 out of 115 accounts overdue, consistently carrying between $600,000 and $1.2 million in unpaid receivables. Another has been forced to go COD only and is being squeezed out of dispensaries because they cannot compete with well-capitalized operators offering 60 and 90-day terms paired with discounts. A third won a court judgment against non-paying dispensaries and still couldn't collect. The fees exceeded what was owed. This is a national problem. Whitney Economics documented $3.8 billion in delinquent receivables across the U.S. cannabis industry. 57% of operators surveyed said unpaid receivables had a greater impact on their business than Section 280E. Unpaid invoices from fellow licensees are doing more damage than the IRS. 5 states have already acted. New York operates a cash-on-delivery list. Retailers who don't pay within 30 days lose the ability to buy on credit from any supplier. The system is self-correcting. Massachusetts just signed a reform package into law less than a month ago, creating a delinquent business list with mandatory reporting and credit lock. Washington State prohibits credit between licenses entirely. Here's why this should be straightforward. New Jersey already operates a trade credit enforcement framework for its other regulated intoxicating substance. The Division of Alcoholic Beverage Control enforces a 30-day credit term, cash-on-delivery status for delinquent retailers, and critically, COG status that follows the license through transfers. Every component of the cannabis framework requires already exists within the New Jersey state government, just for alcohol. I'm asking the Commission to initiate rulemaking to establish a trade credit enforcement framework for cannabis licensees modeled on the ABC system and informed by the New York and Massachusetts models. The NJ-CRC has a proposed framework ready, and we will welcome the opportunity to brief the Commission staff. These are licensed business owners who should be spending their time growing their operations. Instead, they are hiring collections consultants, retaining lawyers, and chasing invoices, spending money that they need to operate to collect money that they have already earned.
30 seconds.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Max. The next person I have on my list is Edward Grimes. Edward Grimes, last 4 of the telephone number is 0682. Edward Grimes. I don't see Edward Grimes. The next person on the list is Mark Williams. Mark Williams, last 4 of the telephone number is 5682. Mark Williams, 5682. I don't see that person. The next person is Andrea Rabel. The last 4 of the telephone number is 2164. Andrea Rabel. Okay, I see you, Andrea. Give me 1 second. Andrea, you have the floor.
Hello.
Yes.
My name is Andrew.
Yeah, we can hear you. Sorry, go ahead.
Awesome, thanks. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I'd also like to thank Director Riggs for addressing more lab data. Bad actors are going to continue exploiting the market if they know no one is watching and if they know there are no significant repercussions. When we talk about failure rates, a few percentage points might not sound like much, but it tells a much bigger story and has a significant impact here in New Jersey, where we have the nation's largest testing batch size. Looking at the slide, it looked like the lab in question ran about 620 tests with a 4.2% fail rate. That comes out to about 26 failed batches. 26 failed batches doesn't sound like a lot, but it's important to remember that testing batch size, 100 pounds. So this is potentially 2,600 pounds of contaminated cannabis, which we break down to over 1.1 million contaminated pre-rolls. The difference in a few percentage points with testing is the difference in a regulated market or just safety fear. We're getting closer to the national average, but we aren't there yet. I would love to see a robust data program and ongoing secret shopper testing like in Bill page 1291. I would also love to see you have a team and resources to keep our safe. I'm grateful for the work of the lab manager and CRC staff for looking into this issue, and I'm looking forward to continued improvements and transparency. Time is limited, so I'm going to pivot. There's been a lot of talk about Schedule 3 lately, and it's easy to dismiss as a federal issue, but we really need to revisit what could strong medical program, our market is extremely vulnerable. We can't compete with the landmass of the Midwest, the climate of Hawaii, or the experience and pricing of more developed markets. New Jersey has fallen from its title as the Garden State, and our medical program is barely hanging on. But it doesn't have to be this way. We have access to some of the top doctors, education, and pharmaceutical developers in the world. When I speak to people in other parts of the country, they ask me if I've ever had the chance to come see the doctors in the Northeast. We could be the epicenter of cannabis research and treatment, but this state feels like an exploitative trap for critically ill patients and practically discourages doctors from participation. The headline this morning read, New Jersey physician gives medical leave to kids young as 6, Attorney General says. A doctor had his medical license suspended for issuing medical cannabis to minors despite being registered.
20 seconds.
Medical legislation being written in the name of a minor. Jay Koenig was a child, and unfortunately, it seems we paraded his name around, but changed very little from his brave and brief life. The Jay Koenig Act was created our industry, but was never properly implemented. 7 years later, patients are still dying without hospital access. We have a window of opportunity to fix this because federal scheduling has always been an excuse. California has Ryan's law that offers help for terminal patients, but Jake's law is unique here. It allows compassion and mercy before it's too late. So I know it's easy to shift responsibility to everyone else or wait for someone else to take the lead. I'd love to continue conversations about this, but I'm just going to ask you to remember Chairwoman Wade's words to embrace discomfort and ask you to find a way to kickstart implementation. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Andrea. All right, I'm going to go back to Ariel Mizrahi. I see your hand is still up. Can you try to unmute yourself, Ariel? And unmuting is *9 if you're calling in. If you're on the Zoom platform, just hit the microphone button so that you can unmute yourself. Ariel, we don't hear anything you're saying. Ariel, when you have a chance, if you can submit your comments through written comments, that would be better. I don't see a way to have you speak. Thank you. I'm just going to go over one more time. Okay, Martha Figaro. The last 4 of the telephone number is 9238. Martha Figaro. I don't see that person. The next person is Richard Neal. Last 4 is 8314. Richard Neal. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. I don't see that person. The next person is Thomas Norcia. Last 4 of the telephone is 2406. Thomas Norcia. I don't see that person. The next person is Edward Grimes. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. Last 4 of the telephone is 0682. Edward Grimes. I don't see that person. The next person is Mark Williams. Last 4 of the telephone number is 5682. Mark Williams. I don't see that person. Thank you, Chairman. This will conclude the registered speakers we have for today's public meeting.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saeed. Our next meeting will be July 9th at 11 a.m. It is unclear if it'll be virtual. It says virtual, but it's unclear if it'll be virtual. And we appreciate everybody's time for coming out. Is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a second? All in favor? We are adjourned.